Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Bald Prairie Real Estate, where I want to educate you all about real estate. I'm Matt, that's Matilda, and today I'm going to be doing a little different video. That's why I brought her along. This is kind of a little bit of a rant about why I hate this real estate market. It's true, a realtor doesn't like the real estate market that we're in right now. And I know it shouldn't make any sense. Why wouldn't we want to be crazy busy, making money hand over fist, playing all the realtor games that realtors are playing right now? Well, I'm going to give you my top 5 reasons why I hate this market. But before we get started, let's start off with another terrible joke. The other day I was at the checkout line at the grocery store and the lady asked me if I want my milk in a bag. I said, no, you can leave it in the carton. If you have a terrible joke that I can use in a future episode of Bald Prairie Real Estate, put it in the comments below. If you like this content, give me a like. YouTube algorithm really likes that right now. And subscribe if you haven't already. One of the common complaints I'm hearing right now from buyers is they hate the games that are being played with asking prices, where places are selling way over asking and they feel like, well, this isn't fair. It's almost like false advertising. The sellers aren't going to accept the asking price. They want way over that. And yeah, it sucks. It's frustrating and I don't like it either. But that's the reality of the market we're in right now. You have to remember that a real estate agent, when they're hired to sell somebody's house, one thing the seller asks them to do is get them as much money as they possibly can for the house, and underpricing a house to create a bidding war, or a more appropriate term, multiple offers, is a proven strategy that results in higher prices. But it only works if the market is crazy hot like it is right now. As soon as we see a shift in the market, and we will, you will see this underpricing strategy disappear almost overnight. In fact, it's already starting in some markets where places are having offer dates, they're underlisted, and they're not getting offers, partially because buyers are getting sick of playing the games, and partially because there's other options with a little more inventory starting to come on the market. As we get more and more towards a more balanced market, or at least not this absolutely crazy seller's market, the strategy of underpricing to create a multiple offer situation goes away. Then if that's the current market situation we're in, what do you need to know when you're buying a house? First off, every neighborhood have a floor and a ceiling, and you need to talk with your agent. What is that range of values? Because every house is going to sell for what that range of values is. Somewhere in there, that's what the house is going to sell for. And if it is priced below that, it's done on purpose to get interest, it's not going to sell for that price. The sellers understand that, the seller's agent, buyers, you need to understand that that's not what the house is going to sell for. So talk with the agent. They are going to have an idea of what that house will sell for, given the neighborhood and what kind of competition, how many other offers are coming in, what that house will likely sell for. The number 2 reason why I really hate this real estate market is that buyers are essentially being forced to write unconditional offers to have any hope of ever getting an offer accepted. When you guys reach out to me, and I love it when viewers have phoned me, emailed me to ask me questions or just to say hi, so keep doing it if you are, please. But you talk about it all the time, how frustrated you are having to write these unconditional offers. And when I hear this, and because in my market, we don't typically write unconditional offers. Pretty much every single offer that we write is going to be conditional, and that's mainly due to the fact that our market isn't as crazy hot as some of the others. We can actually write a financing condition and a home inspection condition. I know, what a concept. You actually get to inspect the house before you decide if you're purchasing or not. So the fact that we're in a market where buyers don't have a choice, that if they want to get their offer accepted, they got to waive all their conditions and essentially just say, I'll buy your house. Yeah, that's not good for buyers, and I don't like working in that. I want buyers to be able to do as much due diligence as is needed to ensure that this purchase they're making is a good one. Personally, I'd prefer it that the market was more balanced and that conditional offers were the norm, not the exception, so that a buyer could ensure they've got satisfactory financing. They don't have to come up with additional money because the house didn't appraise outright, that they can do a home inspection, make sure that they know what the defects of the house are, and negotiate on that. Yeah, I know, what a concept, hey? Negotiating on a price because you found a defect in the house and actually having the sellers drop their price. That's the market that I would much prefer that we be in, because it's better for everybody. Buyers, they can do their due diligence, and sellers are held accountable. If the house has defects, it's not like there's 20 other buyers lined up that'll just pay them the price. The sellers have to either negotiate on the price or fix the defect for the buyer to actually buy their house. So it's better for everybody. If we're in a more balanced market and conditional offers are the norm. Reason number 3 I hate this real estate market is because of how much pressure everybody's feeling from how fast the market is moving. This time crunch is really stressful for buyers. As soon as a house comes up on the market, you got to book the showing right away. Otherwise, it might be completely booked up and you won't be able to see it. Then you got to drive over there. You got maybe a 15-minute window to look at it before the next buyer is waiting at the front door, knocking on the window saying, "Can I get in and see this one too?" And after seeing the house for only 15 minutes, you got to make a decision, the biggest probably decision of your life, of where you're going to buy a house after seeing it 15 minutes. Yeah, that's not really fun for anyone to have that kind of time pressure. If you're lucky, there might be an offer date, so you've got a day or two to think about it before making this decision. But then the sellers could accept a bully offer and somebody could buy that house right out from underneath your nose. Personally, I'd prefer a market that's slower than this, where we've got the time to book showings a few days out, think about the property, and in my ideal world, we can book 4, 5, 6 places back to back, 2 or 3 days out. We'll go and we'll look at them. If there's 1 or 2 that we really like, we'll go back for a second showing. I know, what the heck? What's a second showing? Nobody's ever heard of this before. Oh, it's when you actually go back and look at a property for a second time, maybe bring your family in to see what they think of the house, and then you can go sit down and think a little bit more before writing an offer. That's a market I would much rather prefer working in than this crazy everybody run around with their hair on fire type of market that we've got right now. And then if you found the right house, you can sit down and negotiate with a seller. What a concept, negotiating a deal to buy a house where the seller gives a little, the buyer gives a little, and we find a fair deal between both people that both parties are happy with. I know, what a concept, what a crazy world if that ever became reality. But that's better for everyone. It's better for buyers. And honestly, that's the market I'd prefer to work in than what we got right now. The 4th reason I hate this real estate market is how emotional and frustrating and stressful buying a house has become. It's always going to be emotional, stressful, and frustrating when you're buying a house, but it doesn't need to be this way. If we weren't in such a hot market right now, buyers would be feeling a lot more relaxed and the process would feel a lot easier. The transaction would go smoother. Right now, buyers have to worry about getting to the house right away, knowing that they only got 15 or 20 minutes to look at it. Then they got to make a decision. They got to know what the offer date is. They're going to be competing against 10, 20, 30, 50 other offers, some crazy like that. All of this it's really frustrating and really stressful for buyers. And I just don't like that they have to go through this. And it's frustrating and stressful and emotional for me as an agent. I get invested in my clients and I want them to get these houses. And then when they don't, that's really difficult to go through this whole process again and maybe still not be able to find them a house. Quick little side story about just a recent experience I had. I wrote an offer for very close friends of mine on a house that I knew that they really, really wanted. And when I was waiting to hear back from the agent after offers had been presented, whether we had our offer accepted or not, there was about a 3-hour delay before I finally found out. I was pretty stressed out and emotional myself. I was trying to write the market update for January, and normally I can get densities in like 15 minutes. I can write it pretty fast. I think in the 3 hours, I got done 1 city. That's how stressed out I was as an agent, hoping that we'd get good news on the other end of the phone call, and thankfully we did. I've always felt a big part of my job is removing as much stress and frustration from the process as I possibly can for buyers. And in this market, it's very difficult to do so because there's so much additional added stress. It really sucks being a buyer right now. I feel for you. And honestly, I wish it wasn't this frustrating. The 5th reason I hate this real estate market, and this one's probably gonna get me in some trouble, but I'm gonna say it anyways. That is, this hot market creates bad real estate agents and bad practices in the real estate industry. Yeah, I said it. Sellers agents can get complacent. They know they take a couple of photos. The worst offenders are the ones that take some cell phone photos. They don't even bring in a professional photographer, stick a sign on the lawn and call it a day. They know the house is gonna sell anyways. No, that's not the way this business should be done. Now, trust me on this. The good real estate agents, the ones that are at the top of their game, they're at the top of their game for a reason. They're staging houses properly, they're presenting them, they're bringing in professional photographers. They've got a long history of experience in the industry. Those agents, they're pushing the industry to be better all the time. The problem is, in a hot market like this, you can be a pretty lazy agent and get away with it. But when the market turns, and it's going to at some point here, those bad agents, they're gonna be out of the business because the good agents, they thrive and they shine in tough real estate markets. The bad ones, they're out of business. And inexperienced buyer's agents can make the experience worse for buyers. You wouldn't believe how many times I've heard of stories of the buyer's agent phoning the seller's agent saying, "What do you think this house is going to sell for?" No, that's the buyer's agent's job to advise their clients, okay, this is the market condition we're in. This is what this neighborhood sells for. Here's how many offers potentially the sellers are going to get. And this is a range of prices that this house is going to sell for, given all those factors. That's what the really good buyer's agents will be doing. The inexperienced ones, they don't understand this because they just don't have enough knowledge or experience at the time. And they don't know how to properly prepare their clients for this situation. And now people are feeling really left out or underrepresented because they wrote an offer, it was the asking price, and they got blown out of the water. Not understanding that that asking price wasn't representative of the actual value of the house. Let's quickly go back to that story with my friends that recently bought a house, and they sent me a house, said, "What do you think?" First thing out of my mouth, it's not priced right. I knew that that house was going to sell for quite a bit more probably than what the asking price was, knowing what the value of that neighborhood typically sells for, what that house was. So I talked to them and said, okay guys, the asking price is here, but I think it's gonna sell here. Do you understand that? And they said, yep, we do. We kind of expected, they thought the price wasn't right. And that's part of doing our market research, understanding what the neighborhoods they were interested to look at buying were gonna sell for. When we looked at it, we said, yep, this is the right house for us. And we wrote an offer. Now we wrote the offer, understanding what the neighborhood will typically sell for. And I did my research, talked with the selling agent, how many offers do you have that are coming in or how many you're expecting? So we knew what our competition was going to be and wrote an offer based on those factors. I know when I'm writing offers, if there are 5 offers versus 10 offers or 1 offer, about where the house is probably going to sell for in reference to that listing price. So we made sure we wrote a strong offer based on all of that information. We did have our offer accepted, and I was chatting with the selling agent asking how the other offers turned out. And the majority of the offers were very close to what we wrote our offer at, but there were a couple that were well under. And I don't know what the situation was with those buyers and that agent, but those offers were written below market value and really don't have much of a hope of ever getting accepted. And that's where inexperienced buyer's agents may not understand what market value of that house is, and they're not advising their clients right because of that. There's my little rant about why I hate working in this real estate market. And more than anything, I feel for the buyers who are trying to buy a house. They're frustrated, they're stressed out, they're feeling like they're never gonna find the right house. And I understand and empathize with that. It's not the market I want to work in, and that's why I actually hope things cool off a little bit so it's a more balanced and fair market. If you are thinking about buying a house this year and you want some help, I can set you up with a fantastic real estate agent in your market. There's gonna be a link to my calendar as well as my email address in the description below. You can book me in for a consultation or shoot me an email and I will get you set up with a fantastic agent from your city. And then you're probably wondering, what's going on in the Canadian real estate market right now? Well, right here is my most recent Canadian housing market update. And this video is what the YouTube algorithm says you need to watch next on Bald Prairie Real Estate. As always, everyone, thanks very much for watching.